They are here to feast. This is Southeast Alaska, a fortress of ice and sea. A place where nutrients, churned by glaciers and tides, create a cold, rich broth of life. And for the North Pacific humpback whale, this is the most important banquet on Earth. So why, at the absolute peak of this feast, will they suddenly leave it all behind? They will abandon this bounty to embark on a 4,000-mile journey to starve. The migration itself is a well-documented marvel of endurance. But the trigger for this exodus and the ancient, internal map they use to navigate are secrets the Pacific is only just beginning to share. I am in Frederick Sound, enveloped in the cold, wet air. The water here is a dark, glacial green. It smells of salt, diesel from our research vessel, and something else. The faint, sulfuric scent of krill on the wind. And the breath of whales. It hangs over the water like a low-lying mist. These titans, Megaptera novi anglia, are here for one purpose: to gain weight. They must consume over a ton of krill and small fish every single day. But this is not the mindless grazing of a cow in a pasture. It is a highly coordinated, intelligent, and cultural hunt. We are witnessing the science of the bubble net. A leader dives. She emits a specific, organizing call. The pod spirals upwards, releasing air from their blowholes in a perfect, contracting circle. As net of bubbles confuses the prey, trapping the herring in a cage of air and soon. Then, in perfect, explosive synchrony, they lunge, mouths agape, swallowing thousands. This is learned behavior. It is not pure instinct. It is a specific hunting technique passed from mother to calf, unique to this very population. They are building their most critical resource, a thick layer of blubber. This is the fuel that will power an empire. From a biological standpoint, this place is paradise. The water is cold, but the food is limitless. The whales are at their absolute physical peak, fat and strong. They are perfectly adapted for this world of ice and plenty. And yet, they leave. This is the great paradox of the humpback whale. An evolutionary imperative drives them from the safest, richest feeding ground into the most dangerous, barren expanse of the Pacific. The conventional wisdom says they leave to find warm water to give birth. But that is only a partial answer. After all, orcas, their main predator, patrol these Alaskan waters. But orcapods also patrol the warm waters of Hawaii. The risk of predation on a newborn calf is terrifyingly high in both places. we are learning the true driver may not be about predators or even the mother's comfort. It is about simple, brutal thermodynamics. A newborn calf lacks the thick, insulating blubber of its mother. It simply cannot survive the metabolic cost of staying warm in Alaskan water. The mother leads her baby dolphin to tropical water, not for comfort, but for its very survival. She must trade her own sustenance for her offspring's life. But how do they know when? It is late September.
The food is still abundant. The water temperature is stable.
What is the invisible, environmental signal? The answer is written not in the water, but in the sky, the photoperiod. As the northern hemisphere tilts away from the sun, the days shorten. This precise, reliable decline in daylight is the most accurate calendar in nature. It triggers a hormonal cascade deep within the whale's ancient brain, a biological alarm clock set millions of years ago, telling them it is time. The overwhelming urge to feed is replaced by a new, more powerful drive. The urge to move. The fast begins. From the moment they dive south from the Aleutian chain to the moment they return, perhaps 4 to 6 months later, a mature humpback whale will not eat a single significant meal. This is one of the most extreme and prolonged fasts in the animal kingdom. Everything must be paid for by the blubber they carry. The 4,000-mile swim itself. The violent, exhausting battles of males competing for mates. And for a pregnant female, the energetic cost is almost unimaginable. She must finance the journey, the birth, and then produce tons of fat-rich milk, all while starving. In this process, she may lose up to 1/3 of her total body weight. It is a biological gamble of breathtaking proportions. If she miscalculated her reserves, if the journey is delayed, both she and her calf will die. We see the last of the pods turning south. They leave the shelter of the inland passage and point their bodies toward the open, featureless expanse of the North Pacific. They are heading for a target thousands of miles away, a pinprick of islands they cannot see, and they will navigate much of that journey in total darkness. We call this expanse the Blue Desert, not because it lacks water, but because it lacks life. The rich, green plankton soup of Alaska is gone. Out here, the water is a sterile, clear, and profound blue. It is the color of hunger. 2 months, no food. For 60 days, they swim. A single fluke beat, over and over, pulsing through the deep. They average 3 to 5 miles per hour, a relentless, steady pace.
This is the explorer's perspective. We are tracking a single-tagged female. We'll call her Kohola, the Hawaiian name for the sperm whale.
Her tag pings a satellite, a single point of light in an ocean of darkness. She is traveling with her yearling calf from last season. But even here, In the vast emptiness, they are not alone. A new sound cuts through the water.
The sharp, directional clicks of a transient orcapod. The wolves of the sea.
These are not the fish eaters of the Salish Sea. These are mammal hunters, and a young humpback is a prime target. The mother, Kohola, immediately changes her acoustic behavior. She and her calf fall into stealth mode. A terrifying, profound silence. They will swim for hours, sometimes days, without making a single sound, communicating only by touch. It is a high-stakes, underwater chess match. The orcas are fast and intelligent, but the humpback has endurance and size. She positions her massive body, her 15-foot pectoral fins, between the pod and her calf. She uses those fins as weapons, powerful enough to break bone. After hours of testing, the orcas peel away, seeking an easier meal. Yet the fast continues. But there is a new predator in this desert. One that is blind, deaf, and exponentially more deadly. The shipping lame. Our data shows the migration path from Alaska to Hawaii intersects one of the busiest cargo routes on the planet. A 1,000-foot container ship doesn't see the whale. And at 20 knots, the whale, surfacing to breathe, cannot possibly move in time. This is not to mention the secondary threat: entanglement. Derelict fishing gear, or ghost nets, drift on the same currents. These nets are plastic walls that snare flukes and fins, turning a marathon into a death sentence. The whale is forced to drag hundreds of pounds of gear. It saps their precious energy reserves. It is a slow, agonizing drain on the very fuel they need to survive the fast. Kohola, our tag humpback whale, is lucky. She passes through the corridor of ships unscathed. She has survived the threats. She has navigated 3,000 miles of open ocean. But this brings us to the central, astonishing question. How does she know? How does she aim her 40-ton body at a chain of islands, a target she has not seen in 6 months, and hit it perfectly year after year?
There are no landmarks, no trail of scent, no familiar sounds.
For decades, we assumed they used celestial navigation: the sun, the moon, the stars. And they certainly do. On a clear day, the sun's angle provides a reliable compass. But what about on a stormy day? What about when she dives 500 feet into pitch blackness? The stars and sun are gone. The compass must be internal. They follow a map of iron. We are now in the realm of a genuine animal superpower: magnetoreception. The Earth is not silent. It is wrapped in a massive magnetic field generated by its molten iron core. These field lines are invisible highways, and the whales, we believe, can perceive them. The leading hypothesis involves a protein called cryptochrome. It is found in the retinas of many migratory animals, including whales. This protein is light sensitive. When a photon of blue light strikes it, it creates a quantum-level reaction, one that is exquisitely sensitive to the angle of the Earth's magnetic field. In essence, the magnetic field may appear to the whale as a pattern of light and shadow, an overlay on their vision. They are not just swimming, they are reading an invisible planetary topography. This gives them an angle to follow, a bearing, but they also need a coordinate. The magnetic field also has intensity, which varies by latitude. We believe they can sense how strong the field is, telling them how far north or south they are. They possess a true bi-coordinate map, a magnetic angle for direction, and a magnetic intensity for latitude. It is an internal, ancient GPS, programmed by evolution. Kohola's tag shows her journey is ending. She has burned through tons of her own body, navigated by an invisible force, and protected her calf. And then, after 2 months in the blue desert, she senses a change. The water temperature rises by a few critical degrees. The sound of the open ocean is replaced by a new sound: reefs and surf. She surfaces. Before her are the volcanic cliffs of Maui. She has arrived. The fast is over. But the true purpose of this journey is only just beginning. This is the Hawaiian Islands Humpback Whale National Marine Sanctuary. The water is warm, shallow, and impossibly clear. From our research vessel, I can see the volcanic slopes of Maui and Lanai. But the real landscape, the one that matters to the humpback whales, is acoustic. The moment we drop the hydrophone into the water, the ocean erupts. It is a cacophony of sound. Splashes, breaches, the percussive slap of pectoral fins on water. And beneath it all, a sound so complex and powerful it vibrates through the hull of our boat. The song. A web of sound, coming from every direction at once. For the males, the purpose of this journey is immediately, violently clear. You competition. They are here to mate. And the calm sanctuary is transformed into a coliseum. We are tracking what researchers call a competitive group. It is a high-speed, high-stakes chase. A dozen males, all pursuing a single fertile female. There is no feeding. There is no rest. Only this relentless, exhausting pursuit. This is a battle of attrition. They fight for position, ramming each other with their massive heads. They strike with their barnacle-encrusted fins. They blow threat bubbles to obscure their rivals' paths. These are 40-ton titans, fueled only by their diminishing Alaskan fat, engaged in one of the most brutal contests on Earth. The winner is often simply the last one standing, the one with the energy reserves to outlast all others. This is the brutal filter of sexual selection. The female, at the center, is testing their genetic fitness. Only the strongest, fattest, and most resilient male will earn the right to father her calf. But the new mothers and those about to give birth hold themselves apart from this chaos. They move to the shallowest, most protected bays. Here, in the warm, clear water, a 15-foot, 2,000-pound calf is born. It is born starving, and the mother's fast continues. She has financed a 4,000-mile journey, a birth, and now produces over 100 gallons of milk every day. This milk is 40% fat, with the consistency of toothpaste, designed to pack on weight as fast as possible. The calf must gain its own blubber layer before the return trip to Alaska. The mother is a biological furnace, converting her own body into fuel for her child. She is a fading battery, pouring her last reserves of energy into a new life. Which brings us to the journey's deepest purpose. It is not just a genetic or biological imperative. We are realizing this 4,000-mile migration is a cultural pilgrimage. The sage perspective, we must analyze the song. It is not a simple call. It is a composition as structured as a human symphony. It is built from themes. Those themes are built from phrases, and those phrases are built from individual notes. Only the males sing, and in any given winter, every single singing male in this entire population, from the Big Island to Kauai, will sing the exact same complex song. It is the most staggering example of cultural conformity in any non-human species. And next year, the song will be different. It evolves. New themes are added, old ones are dropped. It is not instinct. It is a living, oral tradition. It is their memory.
I am listening to them now, on the hydrophone.
The sound is so loud, it is physical. This is not a simple mating call or a territorial getaway sign. We believe this is a cultural broadcast, a statement of identity. This song is the explorers' field notes. It is a living record of where they have been, a badge of their population. They come here not just to give birth, but to remember, to teach, and to learn the song that defines them.
The newborn calves, the yearlings.
They are born and raised in an ocean saturated with their own culture. This is the true transfer of memory, passed from one generation to the next. The journey, then, is a biological necessity,
but it is also an act of profound cultural preservation.
Kohola, our tagal whale, has weaned her yearling.
She has survived.
Soon, the photo period of the spring sky will trigger her return. She will lead the new generation back to the land of ice and plenty. This time, they will travel not just with a full stomach, but with a living memory.
A memory of their identity, encoded in the most magnificent song on earth.
The humpback whale is more than just a magnificent mammal navigating on ancient magnetic maps. It is a conscious, cultural being. Its 4,000-mile fast is an act of profound sacrifice, a biological gamble taken to ensure that life and memory can be passed on. This journey from ice to islands is not just a migration. It is a living, breathing oral tradition, a song that binds generations together and reminds us that in the deep blue heart of the Pacific, survival is not just about instinct, but about culture,